Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the Muslim Career Guide with your host, Aliyah Gayoom. Today I am joined with Sister Halah. Jazakallah so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and same as for us. But do you mind giving a brief introduction for who you are and what you do and any other details like that?
Oh, where to start? So, my name is Halah. I'm originally from Iraq. I've been living in Canada for the past almost 3.5 years now. And yeah, before that, I lived in Dubai, lived in Sudan, moved around. I have 4 kids, 2 girls and 2 boys. I also identify as an autism mom. One of my kids has diagnosed with the autism spectrum disorder. As well as since coming here, I started doing photography, and Alhamdulillah, last even though it was a pandemic, I started in 2020, but it was I consider it a success. And hopefully now the restrictions are being lifted, it's gonna get back to business again. I also hold a degree in arts and interactive digital animation, and currently working as an education counselor.
And well, mashallah, you've got a lot of stuff going on. But we'll be talking about both education counselor and photography, like you mentioned, which I'm super excited about. But before we get into the interview, I really like to do icebreaker rapid fire questions with my guests. So just really quick, silly questions, and you can give your most present answer.
Okay.
Perfect. So, what is your favorite book?
It's called Granada. It's an Arabic book. Basically, it's a story told in a historical time. The historic events are true. The characters are not, are fiction. It talks about the fall of Granada in Andalusia.
Wow, yeah, I honestly love like real life stories like that. Those are always like really fun to read to. But what is your favorite recent purchase?
I just bought like, what did I buy? Oh, a microphone for my, because I'm recently starting a YouTube channel, and I started with my phone, but now I want to upgrade, so I'm still waiting for it to be delivered. But yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's so cool. Yeah. And what is your favorite emoji?
Mm, I think it'll probably be the monkey covering his eyes, because I get in a lot of
Yeah.
uh, situations where I'll be like, oh, oopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texting or calling?
Definitely calling. No, I
Calling,
hate
yeah.
texting.
And then last one is what's something that you don't understand?
That's an interesting question. Um, I don't know, like, what's something I don't understand? Cryptocurrency, I guess. Even though I am investing in it, I
Yeah.
still don't get it.
Honestly, I wonder who does.
Yeah.
But now we can jump straight into the interview. So, I guess my first question for you is what are the main responsibilities for an educational counselor?
So an education counselor basically has connection with university, depending on the region they work at, and they advise students on what is the best field of study for them, and guide them through the process of the application and then the visa application if it requires as well. And supporting the students through this process until they arrive and they start the school, and then supporting them after if they need to, for example, change majors, change university, or things like that.
Right. And what are the levels of education that are required to become an educational counselor?
So basically, it's a certificate that you need to get. I'm still not certified. I am working towards it. So you need to study, and it's an open book exam. Uh, just as long as you have the knowledge and you have some experience, then you take the exam. It should be fine. So you can be a high school, you can be a bachelor graduate, or anybody who's just looking for something different and changing career.
Oh wow, so it's nice how like flexible I guess it is. Like
It's
you don't
it's
need a
very,
university degree. Yeah.
yeah, you just need to be associated with the agency to take that certificate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And as an educational counselor, like you work with a lot of different students at a school. So how do you like keep track of all of the different students
It
and all of their
is.
yeah.
It is very, very tricky and keeping track of them. So I usually rely on Google Drive, and I use Monday, if you heard of it. So I try to keep like a project for each student, and I follow up with them via email and WhatsApp as well. Especially WhatsApp Business is a very handy tool. So I use it
Yeah.
to save some information, documents, and send it to the students, and also um, receive some of the student documents. So the client communications, the faster way is WhatsApp and voice calls. And then on Monday and emails, I keep all their documents and files organized there. But
Yeah, and
it's very tricky and confusing sometimes because you forget how many students you have. Yeah.
yeah, and like because you also talk with a lot of students with their passions and what they want to do. So is
Yeah.
that also I guess correlated with Monday? Like, can you use that to talk about what you've talked about before and things like that?
I keep notes for each students and what they want. Like I keep the notes are for myself just to
Mhm.
know if I need to get back to the student or we're having a meeting. I just look at them and I can see exactly where we're at. Yeah, but yeah, sometimes I'd be like, oh wait, let me just go back to my notes. Like you wanted to
Yeah,
join this or that. Oh yeah, okay.
yeah, exactly. And how has the pandemic like affected your job? Because again, you have a lot to do with students and stuff like that.
Yes, so a lot of the students we work with are international students. They want to come study in Canada or the US, and for the past year, it's been like not easy. We have to keep track of the restrictions and travel
Mhm.
restrictions and when they be able to join. Some of them opt for the online classes and they took them from their own home country, which was great for option for them, especially for the people who didn't want to come in and leave their job or leave their family. So that the university shifted to online, and so some of the students, others decided to wait another year or so just to make sure because they wanted to be like present when
Yeah.
they take their courses. So there was a bit of slow when it happened, but again, it got us, instead of working from the office, for me personally, it became working from home. And it has its ups and downs, but as a mom, that was a good thing. The flexibility that came with the job. Then we discovered we can do meeting, we can do trainings with the universities, we can do everything online via Zoom. So
Mhm.
uh, that part was great. Yeah.
Definitely. I think the pandemic has taught us one thing, it's that we can do a lot of things online and our technology is so advanced that we can do things that we never thought could be online
Yeah, I mean,
ourselves.
I got to meet you and be on this,
Yeah,
and I wouldn't be able to know about it if it wasn't for the online presence. So that's good.
exactly. Literally, this relies on Zoom. The show relies completely on Zoom. So definitely on the really privileged to have that. But what are some of the key traits that you think someone should have as an education counselor?
Can you repeat that?
What are some of the key traits that you think someone as an educational counselor should have?
So you need to be patient,
Mm-hmm.
good research skills, because you need to go through websites and they are designed differently. You need to look, you have a knowledge and you have passion about generally studying and what are the options out there and how the students can find something they want, because again, this is the students' future that you're
Right,
helping them decide and what they're going to be doing for the rest of their lives.
right.
So it's a very big decision, and it involves investment, whether it's money, time. So you need like a lot of patience, because an organization as well, like you said, because you're dealing with different students at different levels and different requirements. So patience, resiliency, and good research skills.
Mhm. Yeah, those seem like really good traits and make sense as you're saying them. But we're gonna move on to, I guess, this part of the interview to be focused on photography because, like you mentioned, you've been a photographer for a bit during the pandemic. So, sorry, I missed a question for the education council actually. So,
Sure.
why did you choose to become an education counselor?
Um, I love to study. I've always loved, whenever I hear there's something new, I want to go and learn it.
Yeah.
And so I found that myself uh, surfing university websites for fun, just to see what's out there, what's new fields are being taught. And a friend of mine actually works as an education counselor, and so she kind of said, oh, this actually is a good thing to have when you're an education counselor, and kind of went from there and started working with her. And yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so
awesome. And that's a really cool story. I think again shows that you have flexibility in life in general. Like if you want to choose another career path, you can. Whatever. It's really cool. Yeah.
yeah, true.
So now we'll shift over to the photography part of the interview. So when did you decide you want to start doing photography, and why did you?
So for as long as I remember, I've been the one behind the camera in my family. I'm always the one who's
Right.
taking pictures, never in the pictures. Whether it's video, pictures, even like way back when the cameras were like this small and the film ones, and I did all of that. And I went like I started whenever I feel like I need to upgrade my skills, I would go on YouTube, learn, and I would get an upgrading camera. And then last year I was thinking, and the pandemic started, and oh, I had plans to go study, and everything was put on hold. Thought, why don't I take the hobby and turn it into a business? So I started looking, just spreading the words amongst my friends, and took few pictures for like a wedding here or something like that. That was just before the pandemic starting. So, and if I actually saw that I really enjoy doing it, and yeah, so just decided to go ahead, and it's been going good so far, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, mashallah. And how did you start to like find clients and start booking clients for photography?
So word of so far it's been word of mouth. I know I should invest more. It's just been like it's a side hustle, let's say. So
Mm-hmm.
I do it when I have the time, not when like clients come. So I started with the close circle of friends, just taking pictures, whether like even if we're just going on a picnic, I'll take pictures, share it with them, and tell them, hey, if you know anybody who's looking for a photographer, I can do that. So I did it at first amongst friends and family, and then they mentioned it to their friends and family. And I remember the first like proper event where I was hired and I didn't know the person who was taking picture. It was a graduation party. So I did that and shared the picture. They shared the picture. Everybody loved it, and just the inquiries kept coming. So um, so far it's been word of mouth, and it's been going good. But the only reason I'm not going into investing for an advertising, whether it's on social media or in physical advertising, is just because it's the workload.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the work with the word of mouth so far, it's been going great, and I don't want to increase the workload of myself. Just being a mom and having a second job is just it's too much for
Right.
now.
Yeah, and I think people underestimate like how powerful the word of mouth is. Like
Oh,
if a
yeah,
friend recommends it to you, I feel like I trust a friend more than an advertisement per se.
exactly.
And so
Yeah,
that's why like I think it's influencer marketing and things like that have become a thing because word
yeah,
of mouth is so powerful.
exactly. True. Yeah.
Yeah, and what does a data? So let's just say like you got a booking for like a photography, anything like that for shooting. What does a day to day look like for you then?
So usually I will get the inquiry either on my social media, on my phone, and I direct them to my email because that's what
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep the business on the email so it doesn't confuse me, especially with my other business, which also relies on communication via social media. Story. So, and then I have an online system as well. It's called Honeybook, and that's dedicated for photography. So when I get the inquiry, I have my brochures saved, my files, my packages, everything there. I will ask the client what are they looking for, the hours, when, the time, the date, and so on. I will advise them if I think maybe this time works better. Let's change it to this location. So we go through the process of finalizing it, and then from there on the day of the event I usually my husband babysits. If not, then I will have to arrange for a babysitter.
Yeah.
So I really recommend people to book in advance, not just for them but for me as well. It's easier for me to um, set everything in place before going for a shoot. I will prep my gear the night before, um, make sure like I have the correct location, do a final check with the client, and then I will always try to get early to the location, just so I can assess like where's the best spots for to taking pictures, the lighting situation, what do I need to set up for my equipment, and yeah, we just wait for the client, start shooting. I try to, I mean, a lot of the you need to have a good communication skills as a photographer. You need to be able to break the ice, make the clients very comfortable. And to be honest, at the beginning, that was a struggle for me. I'm not the very talkative kind of person, but I learned that on the job, like as I go, and then some clients will be very open and easy to talk to, and they just encourage you. And some, I find myself having to like try to get them to be comfortable. So it's a fun, I would say, sorry, I gotta go.
Yeah, no worries.
It's a fun, and it's a new skill that I've learned, and I'm really enjoying it. Just meeting people, getting to know them, and starting to talk to them. And once we're done, I would usually go back home, back up. First thing I do is back up, because if these pictures are lost, then that's it. That's someone's special
Yeah.
day. That's someone's special memory. So it's a lot of responsibility. I cannot do anything. First thing I do is back up my cards,
Mhm.
and then just start the editing process. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly so cool because don't really think that photography. Sometimes like you just kind of see the photos and you don't think about what goes into it. But
Yeah.
yeah, like hearing your
The,
story makes
the,
sense.
the background work, like it takes a lot. Like doing a shoot for 1 hour, that's what you see a photographer do. Like he's there for 1 hour shooting, and that's it. But then
Right.
the work behind the scene, when you go back, you whether it's the saving, the backup, the editing, choosing the right style, how to you arrange them, how to send them to the clients. I mean, it's a lot of work. So behind the scenes is much more work than what people see.
Yeah, 100%. And are you a self-taught photographer?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like I said, I've always been taking pictures, and then sometimes I will get into a situation. I'll be like, how can I make this better? What is this picture missing? And for myself, YouTube has been amazing. Like I would go on YouTube and just watch endless videos on a specific topic, and I go out and try it out. And then eventually I start to see that my skills are going up, and I can even compare like a year ago from today, how what a big difference it is, and how much I've
Mhm.
improved. And then I started looking into business classes, no, not classes, but YouTube videos on business, how to manage a photography business and things like that, to help me keep up with the business, and it's been going good so far, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, mashallah, because YouTube again, that's like another thing I think it's so we can use it so much something that might be taught at school or taught in like a normal quote unquote like teaching
Yeah.
environment. It could be taught on YouTube online. So all the resources are readily available. Just are you willing to learn it? So that's
Yeah.
definitely really cool. And the last question is, if you could give any piece of advice to someone who wants to become an education counselor and or they want to become a photographer, what would that be? You can give two pieces of advice for each if you'd like.
So for an education counselor, I'd say it's someone who needs to have passion. Like you need to have passion and patience about this. It
Mm-hmm.
takes time to get the hang of it. It takes time, and then it definitely the good communication skills. So if you can easily get upset or take things personally, then that might not be the thing for you. So just hang in there, be patient about it. It just takes time for an education counselor to get used to it. And especially, you need to be searching all the time. You need to get updates all the time about what's new, what's happening. So you need to stay connected and looking all the time. So if that's you find that in you, then it's a good choice for you. And then if you're a photographer, I'd say don't one of the biggest things I would feel sometimes is like, oh, my equipment is not enough. And I always think, oh, I can't do this because my equipment, my camera is too old. I don't have the right technology. I don't have the right lightings.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you really think about how to take pictures and not with what you're using to take pictures, that's how it's important. It's don't go and invest a lot of money in your equipment before learning the actual skills, because having a $5,000 camera and a $1,000 camera in the hands of person who has no experience, it's just the same. So if you give him a 5,000 camera, he will get you the same pictures as if you give him the 1,000. So it's your skills what makes you take good pictures, your knowledge, your understanding of light and how it works, and people. not the actual device. The device is just to aid you get the idea in your head out. So whenever, for me, when I decided to upgrade my gear is when I feel my gear are limiting my potential. So I feel like I can do this, but my gear is not helping me do that. Then that's when I start to look into upgrading it. And I shot my first, I would say, now I'm in my second year shooting as a business. So my first year, it was done on an entry-level camera, simple equipment, and I managed to get business. So sometimes when you go on YouTube and try to search for gears and look for information about photography, it can be really overwhelming, the prices and the equipment and the gears that the YouTubers show, but you don't need that. You can start with your phone. Literally right now, phones are amazing and you can do a lot with them. So you can start with your phone. Once you feel like this is limiting your talents and you want to do more, that's when you can decide if you need to upgrade or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
so just don't waste your money. That's what I'm saying.
Literally, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much. That was some awesome advice, especially I think photography and for education counseling. But where can everyone find you?
Okay, so I am mainly active on Instagram, and like I said, I recently started a YouTube channel. So you can find me on Instagram at Halah Qaysi, and on YouTube channel, the same name, Halah Qaysi. And yeah, you can just shoot me a DM and ask anything.
Yeah, we'll leave the links in the description box down below along with the SunnahCamp's links. Again, jazakallah so much, Mr. Hala, for joining me today. And inshallah, we will see you guys all next Thursday. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much.